We'll get to the actual best game of the week coming up here. This is the one with the most stakes on the lines. We've got the Vikings. They're heading into Detroit
And
to
oh my
play the
God, they put it in
Lions.
prime time.
They did a good job of putting it in prime time. This is for the number one seed in the NFC. The Eagles are no longer a factor here, which is why they're benching Saquon Barkley for the game and probably quite a few other players like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They need some rest before they get in because they're not getting the bye week. But the winner of this game 100% is. And at the beginning of the season, guys, we had the Vikings maybe winning what, 6 games with Sam Darnold at the helm, like six
That was
games.
their Vegas odds. It was like 6.5 was the over under. So
And Sam Darnold has done a fantastic job. I think we still believe, at least I do, that this team realistically isn't as good as a lot of people say they are. I do think that they are paper tigers. They can play and compete against anybody, but I don't know if they realistically stand a shot here against the Vikings, and I don't believe that they're going to make it very far in the
you're
playoffs.
talking about the Vikings. That's a fine. They don't. You're saying they don't stand a shot against the Lions, but yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get it, Typo. He doesn't.
Did I
You
did I mix that up? My bad.
you
Yeah,
said
you mix that
you
up.
basically you in what your long ramble there. You said the Vikings don't stand a chance against the Vikings, and
Ah,
I was correcting
yeah.
you. You're saying that they don't stand a chance against the Lions.
There you go. You know what I'm saying.
Yep, I do, but we gotta help the listeners out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of confident Minnesota fans out there that think this might be their year. But there are enough of them that are realistic and kind of know that they're even if they win this game, they're they're one of the longer shots out of the top ring in the NFC to go to and win the Super Bowl. They know they don't feel that confident in Sam Darnold. He's played decent. He's had some rough games that they've still won. Um, but do we think that Sam Darnold is a playoff winning quarterback in the back of our minds? We haven't seen him really get there and do it yet. So can he do it is just a question that is yet to be answered. And I don't think a lot of people think he can. Because I personally don't think he can. I don't think he's going to be able to go up against a team like the Eagles, a team like the Lions when it matters in the playoffs. Um, the if they win this game, they might win me over a little bit, but I'm not a proponent of like wow, this Vikings team is really good. Like I think there are some hangups.
I think they're going to win you over a little bit this weekend then because the Lions defense is just so decimated. And yeah, they had a shootout with the Niners last week, but guess what? The Niners offense is not that good. Vikings offense is really damn good. Sam Darnold deserves way more money than Brock Purdy could ever get on the next contract they're both going to receive. I'm putting that out there now.
I will get on board with that. Sam
I,
Darnold
I
deserves
would
more
agree.
money than Brock Purdy in the NFL today.
But
I would agree.
the Vikings offense, they just have so many different skill players that they're going to be able to attack you nonstop over and over again. If you have that decimated of a defense, your defense just has to make a few stops against their mighty offense. I think you can do that over the course of the game. It's a
That's a
basically a pick 'em right here. So
that's a good point that you bring up, Sean. One that for some reason escaped my mind with the Lions being as injured as they are. 22 or more people on the injured reserved, majority of them coming from their defense and being starters or big time
big
like
pieces.
role players that come in and get a lot of time. Noting that, yeah, the Vikings probably do stand a little bit better chance against the Lions in this game. Against the rest of the competition, NFC, we'll have to see. I don't believe so, but yeah, with the Lions coming out, they're going to have to come out of this game and really have a very good game plan going in. I think they can do that. I think they're have a better coaching staff overall as well. The Lions do, but they're going to have a very good game plan going into this game, just specifically because of how decimated they are on the defensive side. Offensively, Jared Goff may have fallen out of that MVP candidate talks, but they've still got so many different weapons as well, and all of them have gotten healthier as the season has gone on. Sam Laporta started off the season injured, so I think Brian Flores, B Flow, and the Vikings defense is in for a little bit of a rude awakening. Coming, I know they've played before, but come this final game, I think that defense for the Vikings is going to be in tough shape.
And just don't forget that Kevin O'Connell is one of the best coaches in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I
The
was
stuff
just
he's
gonna
doing over
say,
there, he is doing amazing things. And the Vikings'
Yeah,
long
didn't mean to
history,
discredit him.
yeah,
I was gonna,
the Vikings' long history, they've had four coaches win 14 games or more. He has two of them. That's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
and
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest thing that I've seen from Vikings fans on social media in comment sections all over. Like they feel like O'Connell is being slept on, and I can kind of agree with him there. Um, the addition of Brian Flores has really intensified their defense. There's guys getting sacks that you didn't really know of before this year. So Brian Flores certainly has a specific way of coaching and didn't work in Miami, but it works as a defensive coordinator, and it's working in Minnesota.
I think Kevin O'Connell should probably be up for Coach of the Year. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
The Minnesota fans are upset that he's really not in that conversation right now.
Who is in the conversation for Coach of the Year?
I don't know.
I don't think you want
Let's
to be coach of the year because usually those guys don't last long afterwards. And
Is it like a Madden curse?
no, that's NBA coaches. Never mind.
Uh,
NBA coaches, if they get coach of the year, they get fired shortly after.
Dan Quinn is currently the odds-on favorite for Coach of the Year at plus 180. Kevin O'Connell is second at plus oh 05 or plus 500. Sorry.
That's not bad. I can see
Andy
that with
Reid is
Dan
third
Quinn.
at plus
where's
550.
Dan? Where's Dan Quinn?
Dan Quinn
Commies.
is he's at the commies.
Commies? Oh,
Yeah. Great season for them too. Definitely that's going to be tough between the two of them, between KOC and Dan Quinn. I think either one of them should definitely win it. Maybe a little bit more towards Kevin O'Connell, but given that Dan Quinn, what he's had to do, come in against all odds, reshape that whole team, rookie quarterback. Um, I think he's had a much more difficult situation overall.
well, and
I
to
think
be
Andy
honest,
Reid's had the most difficult situation.
Fair.
I I'm saying Dan Campbell here because of all the injuries that he's had to deal with. He's
That
had to
too.
come up with backup plan after backup plan, and it's still been working.
But that's just been mainly for his defense, though. He still has his offense in full force, minus David Montgomery.
When
Well,
you
in
look at
hot take, I think the injury to David Montgomery is actually
Made them
beneficial
better.
for their offense.
yeah,
Seeing more
made them much better.
shenanigans.
um, I would say we do the lens that we have to look at for coach of the year is also very much like the lens we'll have to use for comeback player of the year. I think they're kind of one and the same. Comeback player of the year, it's got to be somebody who's coming back from an injury or wasn't in the league the year previously, so on and so forth. The coach of the year also has to be kind of in the same vein, either a new coach to a really bad organization, or a fairly new coach who's been there for a couple of years and has really built something up. It can't be, unfortunately, as much as it should be, it can't be a Dan Campbell or an Andy Reid sort of situation where they've been with the team for a few years now, and even though they've overcome adversity from injuries, it's still their organization that they've been overseeing. I think that's the wrong lens to look at it, but that is the lens that is being used by the NFL and the national media.
I
Fair
could
enough,
definitely see that, but
media tie, Bob.
the favorites are, I don't care who wins it. Good choices all around.